BALIKMANDIRIGMA, the war that time forgot. Prologue, the rift in time. In the year 2025, the armed forces of the Philippines stood at the peak of its modernization. The Army, Navy, and Air Force had reached levels of efficiency once thought impossible. A state-of-the-art military satellite, Bantayog-1, orbited Earth, providing real-time intelligence to the command center in Fort Bonifacio. Yet, none of this prepared them for what was to come. It began as a routine military exercise. Task Force Katipunan, an elite joint force composed of soldiers from all branches, was conducting war games in the Philippine Sea when an anomaly was detected. A powerful electromagnetic pulse surged from an unknown source, sending shockwaves through the fleet and disrupting communications. Sir. Ang Bantayog-1 may na detect na matinding aberya sa ating himpapawid. Sir, Bantayog-1 has detected a massive disturbance in our airspace, shouted a radar operator inside the control room of the BRP Jose Rizal. Unknown classing aberya. What kind of disturbance? Admiral Miranda, the fleet commander, demanded. Mukhang gravitational anomaly, sir, imposibleng dados. Hinahatak tayo. It looks like a gravitational anomaly, sir, impossible readings. It's pulling us in. Before anyone could react, the sea itself trembled. The sky darkened as a blinding light enveloped the entire fleet. The Air Force squadrons above, and the Army unit stationed on an adjacent island. Then, silence. When the light faded, the ocean was eerily calm. The Philippine military had vanished from the 21st century. Chapter 1, Awakening in an Unfamiliar Past. Admiral Miranda struggled to regain his footing as the deck of the BRP Jose Rizal ceased its violent shaking. Around him, his crew groaned, shaken by the inexplicable event. The electronic displays were dead, and the GPS readout was a blank screen. Ulating situation. Status report. He barked, gripping the console for support. Sir, completo pa rin ang lahading barko at aeroplano. Pero bagsak ang lahad in communication. Sir, all ships and aircraft are accounted for, but communications are completely down, reported Lieutenant Santos. Miranda turned to the bridge windows and narrowed his eyes at the horizon. Something felt terribly off. The waters were calm, too calm. More concerningly, the GPS wasn't responding, and the digital maps displayed an error message. He reached for his binoculars and scanned the shoreline. It wasn't the Philippine coastline he knew. Meanwhile, in a dense jungle inland, Colonel Jacinto Ramirez of the Philippine Army surveyed the area with his men. They had been part of a land-based exercise when the blinding light engulfed them. Major Torres, may signal ba tayo? Major Torres, do we have a signal? Ramirez asked. Para bang nawala ang lahading satellites natin? None, sir. Now, the radio was silent and the air had a strange, untouched quality to it. Wala, sir. It's like all our satellites disappeared. Just then, one of their scouts, Private De La Cruz, came rushing back, panting heavily. Sir. Kailangan niyo po itong makita. Sir. You need to see this. Ramirez followed him to the edge of a clearing. There, standing in a mix of awe and disbelief, were a group of men on horseback. They were dressed in worn-out uniforms from a bygone era, carrying bolos and antiquated rifles. Ano to? Reenactment. What is this? A reenactment? Ramirez muttered, but deep down, he knew the answer was far more unsettling. One of the horsemen raised a rifle and barked. In a deep, commanding voice, alto, quains sois. Halt. Who are you? Ramirez felt his heart pound as he recognized the insignias on their uniforms. His breath caught as a familiar historical figure rode forward, his mustache bristling with intensity. Ko. Hindi ko kalala. San galing ang hukbomito. You. I do not know you. Where is this army from? Colonel Ramirez took a deep breath. General Luna. He whispered in shock.